try to catch the condensation before it hits the stove, since we're setting this up to be filmed here. This is the mid to late 1800s model steam engine, horizontal, by Emile Dorge, Frenchman, and quite well built. I was really surprised when I picked this up today. I had to repack the glands here, and I still have some work to do on the piston gland. I did it quickly with one round of twine. I adjusted the eccentric, tested it, and found by putting some WD in my preparation down the exhaust to find the right rotation. It's clockwise. It's a bit loose, but it is 120 to 130 years old. This engine is basically self-built. I think that there might have been some parts that he adapted from other machines. I'm not sure. He put a governor on it, and I just put a piece of twine with a bit of crazy glue on one end to join it here. I'm not sure that the actual governor clip itself is shutting off any steam input, but I'm sure that with the penetrating oil taking effect, things will loosen up. I did blow into the intake, and I was able to feel it turn over. So we're going to have a little bit of wet steam here at first, but we're almost at 14 pounds per square inch. I'm just going to turn it down a bit now and maintain 15 pounds per square inch almost. The Honeywell pressure control light is going to go on any moment now. This book here has been a real help with figuring out a lot of different functions in this. This book is by Mr. Ripper. I think his name is William Ripper of Sheffield, and he's also the writer of the book Steam Engine Theory and Practice. But this book is heat engines, and it actually has Stirling engines as well. So I was reading up on that while this stuff soaked. It didn't take anything really apart. I did have to remount the bases. A lot of the screws had come loose from transportation, I guess, over the years. It was bought in Europe, brought to Canada, and then I got it in patina shape. It wasn't functioning, it wasn't turning over. And after some work and cleaning the shafts and polishing a bit of the shafts, there was just a lot of old steam oil that it was gunked on, as well as there is surface rust on a lot of the parts that are steel. But the brass is in good shape. The governor is in really good shape, silver soldered, hand constructed. The chest is really, really nice, and it's sealed. There's a small leak, but once it's heated up, it's fine. The actual piston cylinder looks to be one piece of brass, perhaps a casting, but it looks mostly like it's been turned or adapted from some other device. 4 holes on top and bottom caps, and a plug screw at the top cap, which I lubricated with steam oil and ran it through by hand. And it does have this little hand lever, making me think that it might have been off of a lathe or some kind of machine that he adapted to a flywheel. Not the truest flywheel. His pulley groove here is quite out of alignment. There's a bit of tar there. But other than that, you can see the age of it. It has some casting defects in here on the edge. And most of this motor is made of brass, and it has a bit of copper in it too, I think. I'm seeing some green colors. Hopefully the governor will go once we start the engine up. So let's try Mr. Emile Dorge's engine. I'm proud to say that it has been brought back to life, I think. And I think that Mr. Dorge, if he's watching, would be pretty happy. Reminds me a lot of an old British motorcycle. I've built and rebuilt many of those from rusty buckets, and used a lot of rusty parts, so getting this running was sort of a treat, because everything is pretty smooth after I've lubed it up. So let's try to get it going. Let's put on the glove and turn up the heat here of steam. Hopefully it will not lock up with water, but lots of water. I'm going to turn it over by hand here. There we go. 120 years, probably 130 years later, the engine comes to life. I really don't think it was being run for the last 100 years, but our governor line has come loose here, which is sort of a drag, but there you go. It might hold for a little while. Let's see how low we can take it as well. It's quite a well-made machine. It's up quite nicely. Hasn't heated up yet either, so a lot of these small leaks around the timing chest would probably go away, as well as the governor input. Sounds quite nice. I think Mr. Dorge would have been really happy with his model after he finished it. And I'm catching most of the condensate, which is nice because I almost flooded the table when I did the other steam engine today. Earlier running a Stuart, so very nice motor. 12 psi. Perhaps we'll turn up the heat a bit. Get our steam production going with this nice propane burner that I got for the desk here with lots of metal shielding. I also have my fire extinguisher. Now we're producing steam. Turn it down a bit. Now we're gaining steam. Quite an efficient motor actually, for the age. And the design. If you look at the cross slide there, it's not even supported on a lower cross slide. It's basically the rod running through a lined hole in that L bracket. I think I'll be putting a brass guide on the back of that just to straighten that out and we don't have as much flop on the crank arm there. But it has split bearings on the main shaft, so those can be replaced or improved. And we got 27 seconds left. Let's turn it up a little bit and then we'll turn it right down. We'll get the proper cable for the governor.